Welcome, municipalities and public works managers, to our Sustainable Data Management webinar. Today I want to focus on the benefits to the environment of going to a paperless system in a system that can be mobilized. And my past webinars have focused only on reducing paper. This webinar will include all of the aspects of going into a mobilized system and why we should be working towards that. Before I continue, I want to introduce myself for those that don't know me. I'm Lydia Lopinto, the owner of Municipal Net Software. We've been in business since 1993, providing software to municipalities in the areas of safety, work order management, and preventative maintenance. We specialize in FileMaker data management systems. We host servers and we customize the software and provide municipalities with a completely mobilized system for a lot of their data management needs. This seminar is here to help you understand what the aspects of an ecologically sustainable data management system are. How do we achieve sustainable data management? We have to reduce the paper. That is one of the main issues with data management. As you can see, this frustrated person is trying to deal with a lot of paper that accumulates in the office, and we've all been there. Even my own desk has a lot of paper, even though I'm very much using electronic systems. The other thing that we don't think about that much is how all of the data is being produced and stored, and what are the sources of the electricity that powers our systems. Even if we use paper, we are still using printers, we're using devices, computers, and where is the electricity for that coming from? Storage is a big issue. We may be storing data in a server, and where is the power for those devices coming from? Is it green? And here, for example, I show that some places use green energy, such as wind power, to power their internet systems and their storage systems. Why do we need to eliminate paper? Well, managing information using paper is harmful to the environment. For example, trees are mined and not regrown. Many places just are cutting and slashing forests, making paper, and then building other things on that land. And so you are really hurting the environment by buying paper from these places, although it may be cheaper just because it's not sustainable. Each piece of paper takes 3 gallons of water to produce. Nobody really understands why, but the paper manufacturing process is very water intensive. Paper manufacturing pollutes our water. In the United States, we have laws to limit the effluents going into our water systems, but in other countries where cheap paper is coming from, there are no such limitations, and so you're really hurting the environment by buying paper, especially paper from overseas. Paper disposal by incineration results in carbon dioxide, greenhouse gases, and air pollution. When you throw out a piece of paper, in many towns it ends up in an incinerator. The incinerator burns the paper, and no matter how much you clean those stacked gases coming off, carbon dioxide would always be there. It's a greenhouse gas. You can't eliminate it from the stack or from the effluent. So paper really is not a good way to go green, even if you recycle it, because if you recycle it, you may, of course, skip the step of burning it to dispose of it, but there are other processes involved in recycling paper, which are water intensive to clean them up and make the pulp all over again, so you're still going to be polluting the water. Ink and paper prices have increased to 10 cents a sheet with paper and ink and equipment maintenance. That's kind of outrageous to me. And aside for the 3 gallons of water it takes to manufacture a single sheet of paper, now I'm putting ink on it and I am sending it out. It's very expensive to manage. Typical town printing costs, I have found that easily they can generate 20,000 sheets a year. At 10 cents, that's $2,000. That is 40 reams of paper, I calculate. And it's a lot of money to manage paper, to store it even. We're not talking about just what it costs to generate that paper, to print it out and manage it, but now you have to take those 20,000 sheets of paper and put them in file cabinets. Imagine 40 reams of paper, you know how big that is, in a room. Well, that's how much paper and more some towns are having to store. And the real estate prices are getting higher and higher for them to store it. They're running out of space. And some towns have to retain records for over 5 years. So that's a big issue. A small business printer is designed to print over 2,000 sheets a month and can easily cost you $2,000 a year to run. So if you're thinking of ways in which you can justify a new paperless system and you're wondering if your town will approve it or you can afford it, well, take a look at our system, MunicipalNet Software FileMaker-based system. We justify our system on paper savings alone, never mind the storage and never mind the inefficiencies of managing this paper. Just the paper savings alone will pay for your system if you're doing something like 20,000 sheets a year or less. $1,500 a year is the typical maintenance fee. You can get started for just about $2,500. A typical system is going to pay for itself in about a year, and most of our customers, once they get started with the system, are continuing on their subscription for years on end. So we think it's very much worthwhile to inform you that this kind of system exists. Why do we need green power for data servers? Well, a lot of people don't think about what happens behind the scenes in your computer. Your computer is a screen in front of you, and what happens to the data? Where does it go? Usually it may or may not be sitting on your hard drive in your computer. Since these are going out of style, it's going into a server somewhere. And what is a server? It's a place that stores your data, manages it, backs it up. People maintain this, make sure it's secure. They consume a lot of electricity, and they must be on 24/7, and you usually need 2 or 3 or 4 machines to really manage your data securely, because it has to be constantly backed up. Towns running their own server systems spend money on a server maintenance, personnel, and usually not the entire server is fully utilized. Well, even if you have a computer on, you have to maintain that. Sometimes your hard drive can malfunction and you'll lose your data if you haven't been diligent at backing it up. So this is all very costly. You can't really afford to lose data, and you can't really afford to keep maintaining this hard drive that over time is going to degrade. So you have to think about a server, a place to store your data. Cloud data services are available, but if you look at our system compared to just taking your data to a cloud data server, you might find it's better to work with the entire system than to go to a cloud service that may or may not be that secure. Shared servers afford many benefits, including maintenance shared among many clients. We have a MunicipalNet Software Data Trium agreement. Data Trium manages our servers, and they run on wind power, so it's green, and our customers share the resources on a server that's just for the municipalities we serve, so there are no commingled businesses in there. It's totally secure 24/7, and we back up the data 5 days in a row. We also keep in close contact with you so that we know if something's happening with your data, and we work with you to do any kind of customization. But you can be sure that the data is now managed in a green and sustainable way. Here are sample departments that we provide with the standard release of Public Works Manager, our system, which is a FileMaker-based shared system for up to 25 iPads and iPhones for the basic system, and up to 900 connections if you go with the higher end systems. We basically can support any department. There are unlimited departments you can add. Each can have their very own forms. You have phone web requests coming in, and you can decide where these web requests are going to be sent. We support fleets, animal control, sanitation, streets and sewer, buildings and zoning, wastewater, and many more other types of departments or combinations. So Public Works Manager is a centralized database system that will allow you to manage work orders from a variety of departments, and either have a centralized model or a distributed model where data inquiries are taken in and processed. You can also process web requests from the citizens. We have web pages you can add to your system, and we have any number of combinations in custom processes. And the big thing about our system is not only is it green, but it's fully customizable. Not one town is the same as the other. Everyone does things differently, and there's no reason you have to adapt somebody else's process because you're buying software. You should stick to the way you work, and that's how we manage our software packages. A lot of towns like the independence of being able to go into the software and change something without having to go to a customization process or pay extra. And they also like the availability of an on-demand developer to help them create special screens and reports that they may not have the staff to do. So that is one of the things among many that people like about our system. And certainly price. Price is one of the biggest issues because they can get started for less than what it costs them to pay for paper for a year. And it also leaves them enough room to purchase equipment such as iPads. There's enough room in the budget to even add other modules such as wastewater preventative maintenance and other systems that we add. So often they find our system to be good for their town, and it's good for the small and medium-sized towns. When you share data with other departments, you save, because you can share one person to manage requests. It can also, if you have too many different databases, it's difficult to track information and to manage costs. It costs to maintain separate systems. Many custom functions are duplicated. So we use a centralized model, but yet it looks like it's distributed because everybody has their own form and their own reports. We maintain the functionality of each department and the business process of each department, and we strive to make it look like a custom system to each department, but yet it's shared. Thank you very much for allowing me to present our system, and please give us a call. This presentation is available to you as a recording, and we have many other recorded webinars if you visit our website at MunicipalNet Software, municipalnets.com. Also, give me a call at 914-963-3695. I would like to show you how the system that I just described works. how you can incorporate it into your town and what the cost benefits might be. I welcome that you call me just to explore, and even if you have no budget this year, it's always worthwhile to look at your options. I also specialize in transitioning towns from other systems. Some towns give up systems that either are too antiquated or too expensive, and they wonder if they can move or scale down to something that's more affordable. And I do that, and sometimes after a few months with my system, they realize that it's giving them just the same functionality and they're paying a lot less. So why not? So I welcome you to explore those options with me and give me a call. Thank you very much. Bye bye.